Hello again, and welcome to week 7 of How Not to Diet Book Club. We read pages 181 through 210, and Dr. Greger gave us 3 more ingredients for the most effective weight loss program. That would be a diet low in calorie density, low in meat, and low in refined grains. My definition of calorie density is eat more whole food, weigh less, and feel better. The human stomach will hold about 4 cups of food. This is 4 cups of salad, and that would fill up a stomach. This jar of salad, I had to cram this stuff in here, and that's still about 60 calories. Now, 4 cups of salad is 60 calories. That's low in calorie density. But if you had filled this jar with mayonnaise, which is made mostly of oil and eggs, it would jump up to 6,000 calories for 4 cups. And that's high calorie density. So you could have 100 times more salad than you could mayonnaise because salad is so low in calorie density. Let's take a look at what 500 calories of different foods look like in this chart. This is a forks over knives calorie density chart, and 500 calories of oil just barely coats the surface down there. You would be really hungry after that. 500 calories of cheese takes up a little bit more space, but you still would be very hungry and want more food. Meat is a little bit more satiating, but potatoes, beans, rice, those starchy vegetables take up a lot of room in your stomach, a lot of bulk. And fruits and veggies, 500 calories of that's going to take up a whole lot of room in your stomach, and you're going to feel really full. Dr. Greger says, if we understand calorie density, we will solve the mystery of the obesity epidemic. Eat fewer calories per spoonful and you will lose weight. Now, a jar of cashews has 160 calories. It's healthy fat, but it's still fat. And a cup of blueberries only has 80 calories, and partly because blueberries are filled with water, they have lower calorie density. So you can eat 2 cups of blueberries and be a lot more full than you would if you had 1 cup of cashews. That's calorie density. Jeff Novick has a wonderful video about calorie density, and he has a nice chart of a 50-50 plate. He suggests that you can dilute the calories in a meal by filling your plate half full with non-starchy vegetables and fruit because they have a lot of water content, and the other half of your plate could be a little bit higher calorie foods that would be intact whole grains, starchy vegetables, and legumes, beans, peas, and chickpeas. The next ingredient that Dr. Greger talks about is a diet that is low in meat. Studies showed that people who ate 5 ounces of meat per day had 8 times the incidence of obesity as people who ate 1 ounce of meat per day, like they did in traditional Asian diets. They traditionally would use meat as a flavoring rather than as a main course like we do nowadays in the United States. Which is the most fattening meat? I was a little surprised by the results of the EPIC study that showed poultry was the most fattening meat, especially chicken, because the chickens that we have now have been engineered to have more fat so they can sell for more money, and they have 1,000 times more fat than chickens of a century ago. No wonder we're gaining weight. Another ingredient in an effective diet is eating foods that are low in refined grains. Refined grains means they've stripped the fiber out of the grains, and so what you're left with is a powdery substance that's addictive called white flour, and pastry flour is even finer, so it's like crack. It just absorbs into your system very quickly, and that's what your cakes and cookies and pastries are made of. No wonder no one's surprised that you gain weight if you are eating a lot of those treats. People ask me, well, Kathy, what do you eat for treats if you're not eating those things? I love fresh fruit and frozen fruit. And when I do bake, I bake with whole grain flour that has the fiber still intact, and I sweeten with different fruits. We eat about the same amount of food every day. We eat 3 to 4 pounds of food typically and regularly. And so it's not how much we eat, it's what we're eating. Let's look at a calorie density chart. If you eat vegetables that are non-starchy, those are about 100 calories. Fruit runs about 300 calories per pound. Starchy vegetables like potatoes, corn, squash, and oats are 400 calories a pound. Whole grains, rice, and pasta is 500 calories. Beans and legumes are 600 calories. Obviously, avocados are going to be more, and everything south of that line is going to be higher and higher and higher in calories. Oils of all kinds are 4,000 calories per pound. Not that you're going to eat a pound of oil, but we want to eat those things very sparingly, and some of them we just want to avoid altogether. If we stick with whole plant food with the fiber intact, we're going to be fuller and more satisfied with our meals. We can eat more, weigh less, and feel better with eating low calorie density foods, staying away from the meats, and eating whole grains rather than refined. Remember, you matter. Never give up. I'll see you next week. Bye now.